Charlotte Bennett had built her empire from nothing. At 42, she was the CEO of Bennett Global, a multi-billion-dollar technology corporation that stretched across 14 countries. She had earned every luxury she now enjoyed: the penthouse apartment, the private jet, the tailored suits, and yes, the reserved corner table at Grandeur, one of the most exclusive restaurants in New York City. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please stay with us and watch this story till the end. If there is any mistake or shortcoming in our story, please kindly forgive us and support us with your love, patience, and encouragement. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories, and tell us in the comments where in the world you are watching from. Your support means everything to us. That Tuesday evening, she walked in after a grueling 12-hour day, her heels clicking against the marble floor, her mind still racing with quarterly reports and board decisions. The maitre d' greeted her by name. The sommelier uncorked her usual bottle without being asked. She settled into her chair, loosened the tension in her shoulders, and prepared to enjoy the one quiet hour she had allowed herself all week. She picked up her fork, and then she saw him. In the far corner of the restaurant, clearly an unusual place for someone dressed the way he was, sat a man in a clean but visibly worn button-down shirt. He looked to be in his mid-30s with tired eyes and a gentle face. Beside him sat two children, a boy of perhaps 7 and a girl who couldn't have been older than 5. The little girl clutched a stuffed rabbit to her chest. The boy sat up very straight, the way children do when they are trying hard to behave. The man, Daniel Carter, though Charlotte didn't know his name yet, had ordered one small plate of pasta. Charlotte watched as he quietly, carefully divided the portion between his two children, ensuring each plate held equal amounts, leaving nothing for himself. He smiled at them as he did it. It was the smile that broke her. Not sadness, not desperation, just pure unconditional love dressed up in quiet sacrifice. Charlotte's fork slipped from her fingers and rang against the porcelain plate. Several diners glanced her direction. She barely noticed. Something was shifting inside her chest, something that no board meeting, no acquisition deal, no financial triumph had ever touched. She asked her waiter discreetly about the family. The waiter lowered his voice and explained that the man had come in asking if they had any affordable options, that the manager had almost turned him away. But something had stopped him. The children had looked so hopeful. Charlotte made a decision. She walked across the restaurant. "Excuse me," she said softly, crouching slightly so she was at eye level with the children. "I'm Charlotte." "I'm sorry to interrupt." Daniel looked up, instantly guarded. "Can I help you?" She smiled and gestured toward his empty plate. "I'd like to buy your family dinner tonight." "Please, order whatever you'd like. Consider it a gift." The children's eyes widened. The little girl hugged her rabbit tighter with excitement, but Daniel shook his head slowly, his jaw tightening with a dignity that was unmistakable. "Thank you, ma'am." "That's very kind, but we don't take charity." Charlotte was caught off guard. She had expected gratitude. Instead, she saw something that quietly humbled her, a man who had almost nothing, yet was fiercely protective of his children's sense of self-worth. She returned to her table. She could have left it there. But she didn't. Instead of charity, she thought of something better. Charlotte did her research. By the next morning, she had learned that Daniel Carter was a former structural engineer who had lost his job 8 months ago. When his firm collapsed, he had been the sole caregiver to his children since his wife passed away 2 years prior. He had been applying for jobs relentlessly, over 90 applications, and had heard nothing back. Charlotte called her head of infrastructure. Bennett Global had 3 ongoing construction projects and needed a mid-level structural engineer immediately. She reviewed Daniel's old portfolio. Through a professional reference his former employer provided, he was exceptional. She arranged an interview. She did not tell him it was her company. When Daniel walked into Bennett Global's offices 3 days later, he recognized her immediately. He stopped in the lobby doorway. "You," he said quietly. She smiled. I told you I wouldn't give you charity. This is a job offer. You'll earn every cent. Daniel stared at her for a long moment, and then something in his face broke open, not weakness but relief. The kind that comes after holding something impossibly heavy for far too long. He nodded. Okay, he said. Thank you. Charlotte thought about what she'd almost missed, sitting in that restaurant, staring at her phone, drowning in spreadsheets. One dropped fork had made her look up. Sometimes the most important meetings of our lives don't happen in boardrooms. They happen in quiet corners, over divided plates of pasta, between a tired father and two hopeful children. Kindness doesn't always look like giving someone what they need. Sometimes it looks like seeing them, truly seeing them, and trusting that they are capable of more. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories, because kindness can still change the world, one story at a time.